Hello, it's Vanessa Aitken here. Welcome to today's session, your first lesson actually. In this lesson, we're going to get really clear on your goal of what you want to feel on a day-to-day basis. The problem at the moment is that although you're desperate to feel better, you're like this little sad puppy he's looking a little bit sad, but you're desperate to feel better, but it's not working and you're not achieving your goals. You know, you've tried many different things and many different ways, but you're just not achieving your goal on that lasting basis. The second cause of frustration for you is that you're feeling this, a little bit deflated. You're thinking, is this actually achievable? And can I actually really reach my goal of getting rid of this anxiety of feeling whatever it is that you want to be feeling instead of that? And the third most frustrating aspect is that you have no control over achieving. It feels like you've got no control over achieving your goal. You kind of feel at the mercy of your moods and at the mercy of whether the mood gods will grant you your goal. And your fear is that you'll never actually achieve what it is that you want to feel. So what is it that you actually do want? You want a clear direction. You want to know exactly where you're heading. And you want to know exactly what that looks like. And you want to be feeling that on a permanent basis. Secondly, you want to know how that is going to be created and how this new goal will support your success. So that's what we're going to have a look at today. But before we jump any further into the content, I want to know, why is this a must for you? Why do you need to be clear on what it is that you want to achieve from this program? Take a minute, write it down. Write down why this is so important for you. Why have you done this now? And why are you going to succeed? So just, if you need to take a minute, just write it down. And you can come back. Okay, now I trust you've written down why understanding your goals is important. Writing it down is so crucial. There was a study done through the Dominican University of California in 2007, and it involved 149 people aged between 23 and 72 years old actually, and they were from many different backgrounds and cultures. But the purpose of the research was to compare some different techniques and strategies used that people used to achieve their goals. So there were 5 groups. People were divided into 5 groups, and each group was asked to do something different. The first group was asked to think about goals they'd like to accomplish over the next 4 weeks and reflect on the importance of these goals. Group 2 was asked to write down their goals and reflect on their importance as Group 1 had done. But Group 3 went a little bit further. Not only were they to write down their goals, but they were also asked to write down some actions that they could take. Group 4 went further still, writing down their goals, reflecting on the importance of their goals, and writing some action steps. But they also sent these action commitments to a supportive friend. Then Group 5 did everything else that Group 4 had done. So they wrote down their goals, they reflected on their importance, they wrote some action steps, and they also sent these action steps to a supportive friend. But Group 5 also made weekly progress reports to their supportive friend. So who did the best? Who achieved their goals? Well, you might have guessed that it was Group 5. Group 5 achieved the most, and Group 1 achieved the least. In fact, Group 5 achieved 78% more than Group 1 did. That's pretty significant, absolutely significant. So one of the most important factors that was emerging from that research was the value in writing down our goals. Writing down our goals helps us to better focus on them. Otherwise, we tend to, forget about them. You think, oh yeah, that'd be great. I'll do that. I'll totally do that. And then we forget about them. And it's so easy to do because we get caught up in the busyness of life. Having your goals on paper means you tend to see them more often, whether it's you glance at them on your desk or you see them stuck on the refrigerator each time you go to grab something from the fridge, or even folding them up in your purse or your wallet and taking them out from time to time. Personally, I like to have them where they're most obvious. On the fridge is my preferred one. But writing them down is so important, and that's why we have our Facebook group, so that we can be each other's supportive friends. So we can say, hey, this is what I'm doing this week, or this is what I'm going to focus on, or this is what I'm going to challenge myself to do. And we can rally behind each other and make it happen. And of course you need to take action. It's great to have a goal, but if you do nothing about it, nothing will be achieved. And that's why it is so great that you are here. You're taking action. You're going to determine what your goal is, and you're going to make it happen. Together, we are going to make it happen. Something else that is really important with goals is to know what it is that you actually want to achieve, what you're aiming for. I hear from so many people what it is that they don't want to experience. I don't want to feel anxious anymore. I don't want to have this constant worry. I don't want to feel like this. But when asked, okay, well, what do you want to feel? People are often stumped. They don't exactly know what it is that they want to experience. And here's the problem. In not knowing what you want to feel, your brain hasn't got a new focus. It just hears, I don't want to feel anxious. It doesn't hear the don't. I want to feel anxious. I don't want to feel worried. It doesn't hear the don't. I want to feel worried. So it's really important to know what it is that you're going to have there instead. So if your focus is to not feel anxiety anymore, your brain's got no clue what to focus on. So be very clear on the positive feelings that it is you want to create, so that your brain can actually start focusing on that. And there's a nice metaphor for it. There's a garden metaphor. So let's say that your mind is a garden, and you've got feelings of worry, you've got feelings of anxiety, you've got feelings of, an overactive mind. And these are all weeds. You want to take these weeds out, but you've got to plant something else there. So I want to take out feelings of anxiety, and I want to replace it with feelings of calm, or a quiet mind, or happiness. So you need to know what it is that you're moving towards. Now there's actually three, this moves us on to what it is that you want to achieve. What is it that is your goal? Now there are actually 3 different types of goals to aim for. The first one is the acquisition goal. And this has been the dominant one in the Western world. And it can be viewed as quite an aggressive type of goal setting. So to sum it up, if you want it, you've got to go out and get it. It's, conquer or be conquered kind of thing. He-Man here, just go out and get it. And this dates back centuries. If rulers wanted a new life, they'd go out and they'd get themselves a new wife. They'd go out and find her and marry her, whether she wanted to be married or not. Or if they wanted to expand their kingdom and be the greatest ruler on earth, well, then they had to go and plunder. It was take or be taken, acquire or not have. And this acquisition-based goal setting goes on the premise that, what you want is out there. What will make you happy is out there. And therefore, you must go out there and get it. And people who subscribe to the acquisition-based model can see life a little like a case of the haves and the have-nots. The have and the have-nots, or the kill or be killed kind of theory. Sure, there have been some really great advantages to the acquisition model, A lot of great empires have been created and advances in business, science, and medicine as a result of this kind of model. But the dog-eat-dog mentality also falls within this model. The stronger or mightier tend to look down on the weaker and bemoan their weakness or their laziness or their lack of willpower. Why don't they just get out there and get it? And the potential error within this model is that if you don't get what you want, it's because you weren't strong enough, or because you didn't try hard enough, or that you didn't use enough willpower. And I don't know about you, but I certainly tried really hard for decades to feel something else besides anxiety. And it wasn't because I was lazy. It wasn't because I didn't try hard enough. So the acquisition model in some ways is great, but it's not what we're aiming for here. The second type of attainment of goals is through the attraction method, which has been around for a really long time as well. And it was most recently brought to life in the book and movie The Secret. So the theory of attraction teaches that like attracts like. You become what you think. Thoughts become things. If you think it, it will come. Think. Nice thoughts, nice things will happen. The potential problem with this law, the law of attraction, is that people are using this kind of new age-ish way as a set of tools for acquisition. So they're thinking about getting a new boyfriend because that'll make them happen. Or so they put out the right vibrational frequency to attract a new job so that they can feel like a success and show their parents that they are a success. Or they meditate on a new house so that they can feel safe and secure in the new house. So you can see that they're still focusing on the external, just like with the acquisition, they went out to get it. With the attraction, they're still trying to attract something from the outside and bring it into their life to make them feel better. I will attract a new boyfriend because that'll make me feel better. Or I will get a new job. I will attract a new job by thinking in the right way, thinking successfully. And when I get that new job, then I'll feel better. Still focusing on the external. And because it can be viewed as, the attraction model can be viewed as a little bit metaphysical, that if you don't achieve your goal, there's the potential error of believing that your vibrational frequency is off, or you weren't thinking the right thoughts, or you weren't being positive enough. Now, I do believe that like attracts like, but I also can see that there's a flaw in this, in that I'm trying to get something from the outside world to make me feel better, or that if I don't get it, it's because I wasn't at the right vibrational frequency, or I wasn't thinking the right kinds of thoughts. So it does work in some ways. It's worked for me and it's worked for a lot of other people as well. But if we're using the attraction model as a way to have what we want on the outside to feel better about ourselves on the inside, we're kind of laying a shaky foundation. Because what happens if those things go away? Then where are we left? I've got the boyfriend, I feel happy, what if he goes? I've got the job, I've been promoted, I feel happy, what if that goes? So there is a final type of goal, which I think you will like. And this final type of goal is the goal of creation. Think the ghost. Think of Demi and Patrick creating their piece of pottery and having a lovely time doing it. So in life, when it comes to goal setting, we usually think, or we're asked, what do you want? And this has a tendency again to make people focus on the outside. Well, I want a new car. I want to live in a nice area. I want a thriving business. The question, what do you want, again, has the tendency to make it external, perhaps unattainable. If you're lucky, the gods will smile on you and you'll get what it is that you want. A far more powerful way of thinking and approaching goals is to ask the question, what would you love to create? This puts us in the driver's seat. What you want is coming from you. It is your creation, and it's within your control. Because the power to create is within you. It's not in the outside world, it's not in the external world or outside of you in the metaphysical world, but it is within you, waiting to be created. And if you haven't gotten what you've wanted so far, it's because you haven't yet found the right way, or it's just taking a little bit longer. There's no weakness, there's no shame, there's no blame. You just haven't found out how to create it yet. But you're about to find out. So in my eyes, the law of creation is the best type of goal because it lies within you. It doesn't rely on anyone or anything else. And unbeknownst to you yet, within you is the most amazing ability, wisdom, skill, and potential just waiting to come to the fore. You might not believe that yet, but you really will soon. And I absolutely know that it's within you right now. So there's the 3 types of goals: the acquisition-based goal, the attraction method, and then the creation method. And the creation method is going to be the one that really supports you the most. Now, there's one other thing that I want to talk about goals. The fundamental thing about goals is they're often in the future. They're in the distance and they're not here yet. And when we have something in the future, when we have a goal in the future, it kind of always tends to remain in the future. What we want is we want it now. And I'd never really thought about this. And Michael Neal highlighted this. He highlighted the difference between goals and projects. And I really like it because goals versus projects. Well, goals are always in the future. Projects, however, are in the present. We're working on them now. Whereas with goals, we're working towards them. They're still, off there in the future. But with a project, we're working on it now. We're creating it right now. It's happening right now. With goals, they're often focused on a desired result. That we'll have it when we've achieved it, when we're be good if I could speak properly. Focused on that desired result. But with the projects, it's focused on daily action to make it happen. So it's in the now. We're not waiting for it in the future. The result is happening now. And then with goals, it's failure until successful. But with projects, it's successful until failure. I love this. So often goals are focused on results. Well, have you achieved it? If not, then you failed. But if you focus on daily action, you're creating what it is that you desire right here and right now. And as long as you take consistent action, your project cannot fail. It can't. There is no way. It's just a matter of time, and the more action you take, the quicker it comes to you. So even better than a goal is a project. So what is your project? What is your project? A Course in Miracles states that you must have a singleness of goal, a single-mindedness of goal, but let's call it a single-minded project. And in A Course in Miracles, it suggests that our single-minded project is peace of mind. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that's a pretty rocking goal. And it's a goal that I strived for a really long time. Peace of mind, inner peace, whatever it is that you want to call it. because within this, everything else comes. When we have that peace of mind, we have love, we have happiness, we have forgiveness, we have a quiet mind. Whatever it is that you are wanting to feel comes from this peace of mind. It is not because of the external things. It is because of what you are creating internally, and what you are creating internally is that single-minded project of peace of mind, whatever it is that you'd like to call it. So let's recap. Let's have a look. Write down your goals. First we spoke about writing down your goals. Then we spoke about, the importance of taking action. And that's why we've got the Facebook group. Let people know what it is that you're wanting to achieve, what it is that you're wanting to feel this week, whatever it might be. And then we looked at the 3 different types of goals: the acquisition, the attraction method, and then the creation. And then we looked at goals versus projects, and how actually projects is far more powerful. So that's it for this lesson. But before we jump into the home play video below, I want to know what's been your biggest takeaway from this video. What's been the most valuable for you? It's really important to stop and acknowledge, because as the more you acknowledge it, the deeper it imprints on your brain and becomes more of your focus. So write down and post it in the Facebook group what your biggest learning from today's lesson is. I look forward to seeing you in the activity lesson below when you're ready.